Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today to talk about some Etsy problems that have been going on. Some have been going on for quite a while. But if you would have seen my community post or the Facebook page post I made about Etsy, it caused several people to start asking questions who have Etsy stores and are wondering what I'm talking about because they couldn't find anything like that themselves. Well, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this video, is so those who currently have Etsy stores and also those who may be thinking about opening up an Etsy store, what's going on and how it's going to affect all of you if you already have an Etsy store, but also as to why I very likely will be closing my store or it's going to be suspended anyway by Etsy. And so I want to explain why and also go over some of the options so that we can still keep selling the items that people are wanting, be it our seeds from our own garden or herb seeds and so on, the vacuum chambers that Patrick makes, the various crocheted things that come and go depending on the year. And yes, I plan on making more hats and gloves and so on. The handle covers, still not currently doing the skirts, but who knows, I might be able to start getting back into that again at some point. We'll see how it goes. Same thing with the aprons. And then Patrick does plan on starting to make some of the wooden products again that we haven't had available for a while, such as the pasta drying racks, possibly tampers, the sock darners, the very many other things that he was making. So I'll be talking about some of the options and ways that which is looking very likely, my store is closed or at least on vacation or suspended, you'll know how you can still get your hands on some product if you're interested. Let's talk about the current issue first. So especially those with Etsy stores who are confused because they haven't seen anything yet, trust me, it's coming. It's coming. What's happening is Etsy is changing how they're doing things, is to comply with certain anti-laundering laws that have been put in place. And what they need to do is they need to verify that the store owner is the actual owner of the bank account that the funds are being deposited into. Now, my bank account has not changed. The number's all the same. Everything is still the same from the day one that I opened my store, and have been getting my deposits there on a regular basis, once a week, without ever any problem. But eventually, if you are an Etsy store owner, you will get an email that says that you need to go into your Etsy account, verify your bank account, and it's going to be using what's called the Plaid program. And you have 30 days to comply. And if you don't get this connected, if you don't get your bank account verified in that 30 days, Etsy will suspend your store. But here's the other rub, is if you're like me, you keep trying to make it work and you keep getting an error message, even though you know you have all the information correct, you only get so many tries to do that or your account gets suspended if you exceed that number of tries. They have yet to tell me how many tries I get on that. But I found out that happens because as I was reading through the community forums, a lot of people are having this issue, and they're all different issues. Some people are having the same exact issues, and some people are having other issues, but it all comes down to the same thing, that they may not get their funds and their account's probably going to get suspended. And several people who were having trouble getting it to connect or to verify ended up having their account suspended, and they don't know for how long, and they don't know if they'll ever get it resolved. And since Etsy's only giving 30 days to get this done with no forewarning, no announcement anywhere, nobody knew anything about this, and that's why those of you who went to try to find it on Etsy are not finding it. You have to look for it in the forums, the community forums. Put in verified bank or the word Plaid, P-L-A-I-D, into the search criteria for the community forums, and you'll find all kinds of information. So for me, I just keep getting an error message. But then it started making me think, and I've been communicating back and forth with Etsy, a different person every time who won't bother to go back and read the history of the emails. And they just want to tell me, well, try a different bank. Well, I don't have another bank, and that's just not an option. And so the issue could be that my bank does not use the Plaid program, and so that could be why it won't verify. Who knows? But at this point, I know I do not want to try anymore. I'm afraid if I try one more time, my Etsy store will get suspended. And so for now, I want to keep the Etsy store open until I think the date I have set is September 18th. I am going to have to either close my store or put it on vacation mode so nobody can purchase anything until we get things straightened out. I figured out exactly what I'm going to do. And either way, once I hit that 30-day period, which I think is September 24th or 25th, well, my store is going to get suspended anyway. I'm going to talk about some other issues with this Plaid program, and I'm actually kind of glad I got error messages in the first place, because the more I've read about it, the more hesitant I am. And I will preface this on the fact that it doesn't matter what program you use. Every program that's digital, where you're putting your information out there, is subject to data breaches. It's just the way it is. There's nothing entirely safe. But it does concern me that Plaid only just in July of this year paid out a $58 million lawsuit for selling consumer data. If that's not bad enough, and I know this has happened with PayPal and even Etsy and other places as well, but what makes it even worse is when you read right from the Plaid website the kind of data that they will have access to once you use them to verify your account or for whatever else. It's very disconcerting. In fact, I made a post about it and put it over on the Rain Country Handcrafted Goods page. In fact, what I'll do is I'll copy and paste that down below, and I'll pin it to a comment down below so you can read through all that, because I don't want to put all that in the description box because it's too much. If you're interested, it's very disconcerting. So those two things have had me concerned. Plus, as I was reading more through the forums, more and more people are very alarmed about this, alarmed about the way it's been rolled out, and all the many glitches, not just the glitch I'm having, but all the many other glitches people are having. And if, by the way, you decide to take the leap and do it, don't do what they call the preferred instant method. Use the manual method. That's what I've been reading in the forums. Go with the manual. Not only will it work better, then if you use the instant method, you have to not only are given your account and routing number, which is common whenever you're dealing with anything that's going to pay you directly, but if you go with the instant method, they want your account password and user ID. So absolutely not. Do not ever hand over your username and password to anyone. I don't care how trustworthy you think they are. So that's the latest thing. And that's why it looks like I am just going to have to let my store go unless I can make it work. And that's if I decide to go ahead and do it despite my reservations. Now, some of the other issues Etsy's had that have bothered me for quite some time since they implemented this is once you make a certain amount of money on sales, you automatically are forced to pay for offsite ads, even if you don't want them. You pay for the Etsy will start advertising for you without your permission on offsite, so Facebook, wherever else. And if anybody buys product through their ad that they put out there for you, then you have to pay an ad fee on that. So that then comes out of your commission that you earned off of that in the first place, so that then you're losing even more money. So even if you don't want it, now some people might think it's a great idea, but most people I know that, and I've read the forums on this too, they don't want these offsite ads. They don't want to be forced to pay for them. And it's, to me, we just see it as another way for somebody else to get their hands in our pockets. And so that's been bothering me for a long time. Here's something else that just happened yesterday morning. So I'm packaging up the latest orders. And as soon as I package up this one, label it, whenever you buy a shipping label, especially through Etsy, the purchaser automatically gets an email saying your package is on the way. Well, this person contacts me and says, I didn't order this. And she says, I did not even have these items in my cart. And then when I got to look, and even though it was under her account, the name on the order, whoever purchases, was not the same person. It's different address, different name. And somehow it got charged to this woman's account. And I'm like, that's not right. So what I did was I canceled the order. To me, that was just another sign that, okay, maybe I should just go ahead and let my store close. On top of the fact that Etsy just keeps finding ways to add more in fees, a little bit more. So the percentage that the store owner is actually paying out into Etsy in sales just keeps getting higher and higher and higher and higher, which means the Etsy store owner is getting less and less and less money unless they keep raising their prices to keep up with the cost of fees. With all this in mind, I didn't think it was going to happen so quickly. It is something I've been contemplating for quite some time, but I keep putting it off. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have to just cut the middleman altogether. The benefit of that is that means we will actually earn more revenue from each product. We will still have fees to pay, for shipping programs, for payment programs and so on, but there'll still be all these other fees that we won't have to pay. So that means more revenue for us, but it will also mean we will see less orders. And please understand, for quite a few years now, Etsy has been our main source of income. YouTube, as a result of YouTube, but YouTube hasn't been our main source of income. It's actually been our Etsy store. And so it's going to be hard to completely let it go, but I just don't know what else to do at this point. So let's talk about my options. Now, I know what's going to happen is I'm going to have several people, because they've already done it, say, well, why don't you open a store on eBay or Amazon or this or that or the other thing? Well, here's the deal. If I'm going to let my Etsy store go, I don't want to start all over somewhere else. Because I actually at this point don't trust any of them. There's really no place you can completely trust, even payment processing places. And I've already had people say, well, don't trust PayPal. Well, let me tell you something about PayPal. I know people have had issues with that, and people do have issues with that. I never have. I've had a PayPal account for right around 20 years, and PayPal is something that we use regularly without problem. So we earn passive income from anytime anybody goes through, like our Mother Earth Products links, Cocoa Stripes link, some of the other various links that we have in there that are affiliate links. And again, these are just products that we use on a regular basis and we trust, just so you know. I don't put in things just to affiliate and get money from all these different places. I only work with places that I actually use. Dr. Jacobs is another one. Well, all those places, and Greenstock, all of those places pay us when people order through our links. Well, the commission we earn off those sales goes to PayPal. That's how all of them work. We've had no problem getting our money to PayPal or getting the money out of PayPal. It just has not been an issue. But I still understand people's reservations about PayPal. So I am looking at other methods. Unfortunately, it's not looking real hopeful for me to have many other methods, because some people have thrown out Venmo. Well, guess what? Venmo uses Plaid to verify your bank account. So same issues I'm having with Etsy, I would have with Venmo. So that's a no-go for me. Then some people ask about, well, what about Apple Pay? Well, that's kind of the problem. Unless I'm missing something, it looks to me that I would have to give out my phone number for people to pay me via the Apple Pay. And I don't want to do that. There's a reason why I really need to keep my phone number private. This is why I have email and always direct people to email. Now, I do have Google Pay, but that's changed since too. And so I don't think it works the same way. It used to be that it worked. I've never used it before, but it used to be it worked the same way as PayPal does, where all you need is a person's email address to send them money. And unfortunately, that's changed, and I'll have to look deeper into it. And I know there's Square and there's certain other payment methods, and I don't mind if people want to give me ideas on other payment methods that I can do some research into. I've kind of looked into Square a little bit. That might be a possibility. You still have to pay processing fees whenever anyone uses a credit or debit card. Right now, the only other online method I have that people could pay me would be through Facebook, but I also know not that a lot of people have left Facebook, but people can pay me through Facebook Messenger. If they get set up through there, all you have to do is set up your credit card information, but that's if you trust Facebook with your credit card information. But what that does for me is that then goes into my PayPal account either way. I found out I could actually set that up if people pay me through Facebook. They don't have to use PayPal, but it would still go into my PayPal account, just like all these other places where we get a passive income from. So right now, at this moment that this video is coming out, those are the only two payment methods I have that are online. Now, cash would be great. That's my actual preferred method of payment from anything, but that's not always doable. So you just take the risk that that could get lost in the mail. And I need time to really think about, do I really want to set up a website? Because I know people are going to throw that idea. Well, set up your own site. Well, if I set up a website, I'll just throw this out, I still have to pay a fee to have the website. I still have to put in a lot of time to maintain it. I still have to pay fees for processing credit cards. And there's just a lot of other stuff that goes along with it. And at this point, that's something I want time to think about. I got to see how things are going to work by just me going back to the way I did it before, and that was just using PayPal. That's how people paid me before. Before I started Etsy, it was the way I was selling product, and until people talked me into setting up an Etsy store. So anyway, I want to give people a heads up because it's very likely within the next 2 weeks, my store, what I'm going to do first is put it in vacation mode. And hopefully at that point, people will still be able to see my product. But I am setting up an email list. If you want to be on that list so that you can be updated on products, like if I got new products out, or I'm starting to make a product again, or if there's any price changes or so on and so forth, all you have to do is email me at raincountryhomestead@gmail.com and just say, add me to the list. And please know, I won't reply to every single one of those because I'm already been getting a bunch of those, and I just don't have time to reply to every one. But know that when I get those, I do add you to the list. What I'm going to do is type up a list of all our products here within the next couple weeks, and the pricing plus shipping, and then I'll send that out in an email, and I promise I won't be spamming you all the time. It'll only just be updates, like if we have a new product and so on and so forth. Email contact right now is the best. Do not contact me through Facebook. Do not contact me through Patreon. Do not contact me through any other social media. Contact me through email. So anyway, I wanted to update you on that just so people know if they go, especially if you're watching older videos and you see links to my Etsy store and then wonder why you can't get into it to see anything. Well, that's why. It's probably because it's been closed. And how you can contact me as well as all you current Etsy store owners. If you haven't seen it yet, it's coming. Trust me, it's coming. It's going to affect everyone at some point. And I don't think there's any way that Etsy can just put a stop to it, because they supposedly have to comply to these anti-laundering, money laundering laws, whatever. I don't know. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and I really appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to this video, especially all the way through to the end. We're going to see what happens. So I'm going to close this video out. So take care and God bless.